All right, Wichita voters down to a month and a half to decide who to support for the race for Wichita mayor. Incumbent Mayor Brandon Whipple facing former TV journalist Lily Wu, who also used to work here at KWCH. Wu's campaign has been endorsed by the Kansas chapter of Americans for Prosperity in the primary stage of the election. AFP Kansas using its money to support Wu's campaign with mailers like the one that's been arriving this week, going after Whipple's record. Sean Logging taking a look at the central claim with this 12 News Fact Check.
Mike, AFP is a political advocacy group founded and supported by the Koch brothers, focused on conservative issues. Unlike candidates, it doesn't have to disclose its donors. In this latest mailer from the group, a claim it makes deals with a $4 million federal COVID-19 grant meant to address the pandemic in underserved communities. This mailer, paid for by Americans for Prosperity, is making claims largely about Mayor Brandon Whipple's first term in office. In this fact check, the focus is on this claim. As mayor, Whipple and his team steered a $4 million COVID grant to a political insider. It cites an October 2021 Wichita Eagle article. This claim is misleading and needs context.
That's the vote.
For background, in August 2021, Wichita City Council unanimously approved a contract with Community Connections Consulting Services to administer a $4 million U.S. Department of Health and Human Services grant. The money was to improve health literacy in underserved communities for COVID-19 vaccinations and prevention measures. Council records say the city manager's office worked closely with the Wichita Black Alliance and Community Connections to develop and submit the grant. Earlier this year, Wichita City Council terminated that contract and entered into a new contract with KU School of Medicine Wichita to administer the remaining $2.25 million of the grant. The vote by the council was also unanimous. The Eagle article cited by the mailer reports the city manager's office used outdated data on COVID-19 deaths for black people and numbers that were representative of the state and not Sedgwick County. When asked earlier this year,
Did that really happen?
City leaders say they discussed this with HHS staff.
The error that was made in terms of the data, and once again, there was no intent to mislead. There was an appendix in that same application that contained the correct data.
Procurement was another issue raised. The Eagle article reports on potential ethic violations with Councilmember Brandon Johnson, not Whipple, for voting on a contract going to a friend, the owner of Community Connections. And that owner used to be an independent contractor for the city. City leaders say this was also addressed with HHS.
The agencies did not see a conflict. We were advised to follow local procurement policy. And talking with our local procurement office, there were no concerns, both in terms of the grant application and subsequent contracts.
The city says the contract with Community Connections ended earlier this year when it was mutually agreed not to renew. Following the end of that contract, the city says an external audit was ordered to look at how the grant funds were used. That audit was completed at the end of last month and found no issues with the city's administration of that grant.